start with the unimportant notice. This is beneficially announced to the viewing public according to the Inefficiency Act, Part 2, Clause 11, as defined by the Ministry of Internets. Why are you wasting valuable time reading this? It's quite astonishing that you've gotten this far. You may now return to your dreary routine. The unimportant notice has ended.
Hedgerowshire Limited Broadcasting Megacorp. The Duchess Show, starring the Duchess of Hedgerowshire. The Duchess Show is brought to you by United Biscuit Company, the makers of Twiglets, and Classic Tipton Sales, and Epona Bloodstock Agency. The Duchess Show is filmed before a well-behaved studio audience.
Unleash the hounds. The Admiral's out at sea right now. Send for Mims and the turnip baskets. It's time to feed the baby hippo. You know, the Duke really objects to the hounds pissing around the castle, and I really can't stand listening to any more of his whinging. We were doing an introduction where I was going to introduce myself. So, the Duchess of Hedgerowshire.
And what is this?
This is a reality show, documentary, about the lives of real duchesses in the 21st century. Well, I suppose that's what it is. I mean, my niece, the Honourable Lady Rowan, she received an accelerated entry to film school, and this is her thesis project, and, well, she asked me to help her out, so I really couldn't turn her down. And anyway, there you go. That's what the show's all about. The things I do every day. Well, every day I put on Wellingtons and walk out and put out some food for the crows, and I stop by the koi pond and check on the baby hippo. Then I'm off to the paddocks to see the horses, and I ride for about 3 or 4 hours until lunchtime. After that, well, I generally have cocktail hour with the footman, and quite frequently after that there's supper time, and then I have my time with the Duke in the evenings. Lots of times we just sit around the fireplace and talk about dogs and things like that. Well, there are dogs and there are hounds. The hounds all belong to me, and the dogs are all part of the castle, and some of them belong to the Duke. Well, it's really undescribable. I don't think I could really be anything else except for a duchess. I don't know what I would do with my life. I'm too old to be a jockey, and I can't do anything with math. I could possibly read books for a living. I'm very good at that. And but that's about it. It's really all I'm qualified to do. Well, it's just the right size. I mean, we have the correct proportion of rolling pasture land that's just beautifully green, with little sparkling ponds and flowing streams, and of course this is the Hedgerowshire, so all of these are bordered by flowering hedgerows that are always blooming no matter what time of the year it is, unless it's fall, and then they're bright orange. And there are some mountains off in the distance. They're not really part of the duchy, but we do appreciate the view. And there are quite often fields of crops that the farmers grow, and then we have some forestry as well. Oh, I'm so sorry. I shall try and sit terribly still so as not to squeak. Everything I have is terribly old. This castle's been here since the 13th century. Well, parts of it, not obviously this part. This is more recent. Well, the duchy itself dates back to the year 1662, when King Charles II created the very first Duke of Hedgerowshire. The hegemony of the Hedgerowshire. Our hegemony, you know, how we're taking over our surrounding territories. He's quite in favor of it. That's one of the things that I agreed to when I became Duchess. I said, well, I can increase your holdings. Just let me work on it, and pretty soon the duchy will be twice the size it used to be. He's not quite sure how I'm doing it. Well, I'm moving the borders. I have 6 footmen, and each day we go out and move the borders of the duchy several inches, and no one has noticed. So we are doing very, very good. Since it warmed up, mid-April or so, we started getting rid of the snow, but then more snow came. Then right after that, right around the end of April. So yes, no one's quite noticed. But yes, if you expand the entire boundaries of your duchy by 4 or 5 inches a day, soon you'll take over the whole country. The duchy's a wonderful place to live. Everything around it is a total shithole, so I figure we'll just take it over slowly and improve it as we go, and who's going to complain as long as we're improving everything? Like, well, this place used to really suck until we were taken over by the duchy, and now it's like fabulous around here.
Duchess, take 7.
We are going on the William Morris principle that everything should be beautiful and useful. So we're going to knock down any ugly new buildings that we don't care for and replace them with good-looking, well, sort of like a, what do you call it, replica? Reproduction houses. Go back to cobblestones, perhaps. I think that'd be quite attractive.
This has been a Hedgerowshire Limited Broadcasting Megacorp production.